I know what I said. You'll live. Welcome back to my channel, and if you've never been here before, there didn't used to be so many of you. Hi, welcome. I'm sorry. Or, you know, whatever normal people say to express flattery. Today I put on very minimal makeup with absolutely no color or dimension to my face and put my hair up in this neat bun because we're back in the Gabbie Hanna saddle again. Tic-tac-toe, 3 in a row. Call me obsessed all you want. Go ahead, do it. I'll wait.
Coward.
Anyway, YouTube's favorite sweet shart has been relentlessly being herself, I guess, on the internet this week. Still, yes, still, with such chestnuts as being okay with people thinking she does cocaine.
Some people think I'm having a manic episode every time I'm like this, and then some people say I'm on coke. The coke thing I got to the bottom of because I sniff a lot, so I get it. I'm not even gonna try to tell you I don't do coke. I don't care if you think I do coke.
Being okay with people thinking she does cocaine and blaming it on, yeah, you guessed it, ADHD.
This is hyperactivity. This is ADHD. This is the H in ADHD.
I can't believe she has literal acting credits to her name. That is tragic. Now, just for a warning, I am going to be talking about Trisha Paytas a bit in this video, and I assure you I am making every single valiant effort to use Trisha's correct pronouns, they, them, as opposed to she, her. And as I am still trying to make that a habit and unlearn the she, her from my vocabulary, I may slip up here and there. But please know that that's not intentional. I'm not trying to misgender anybody, but in this case, Trisha Paytas. So just FYI, I may fuck up. Feel free to correct me in the comments, totally fine. But I am going to make my very best effort to remember they, them, okay? Just heads up. Anyway, Gabbie couldn't help herself. She just had to take everything Trisha Paytas was saying about the way that Gabbie's behavior was triggering, both in their interactions and in her behavior online. For Gabbie to take all of that completely out of context, particularly when Trisha left this really heinous comment on Gabbie's TikTok. Of course, Gabbie went on to take all of this information and put it into her little brain and turn it into the response of all time.
If you really want me to be well and you're so concerned about my mental health, why don't you shut the fuck up about me? You literally can't keep me out of your mouth because you're obsessed with me.
Now, Trisha's responses to Gabbie spanned several spanned several posts in a very, very calm and measured way. Okay, not a day for words, got it. The only thing that Trisha Paytas was really saying was that she recognizes Gabbie's behaviors and that they are disturbing to them, and that it's also affecting their mental health, that they still just essentially want the best for Gabbie. And then there's Gabbie.
You literally can't keep me out of your mouth because you're obsessed with me. You think about me all the time. You admitted to watching all of my content obsessively. Just leave me alone, Trish. If you actually mean what you're saying, which you don't, just leave me the fuck alone. And I know you're watching this because you're obsessed with me. Just leave me alone. Move on. Let me go. Drop me. Where our friendship is in the past. Get the fuck over it.
Am I insane, or do these two energies just not match? The correct answer is yes to both. So since when is being like a fan or a viewer of someone being obsessed? I could see where people are like, oh, you're obsessed, you make a bajillion videos. I guess. Okay, sure. I make videos about other people too. So do my friends who receive this criticism of being obsessed because they make content.
Don't act like an idiot on the internet.
And people won't have to make content about you. It's It's a free PSA. I have said in the past that I enjoy a lot of Gabbie's music. I do, I really do, and I wish I could continue to listen to it. But right now, she's making it real hard.
What sounds like fan behavior? What, are you secretly a fan?
Yeah, you got me. You really stuck it to me there. I don't know how I'm going to pick up the pieces and go on with the rest of my life, but I'll do what I can. It just makes me wonder, if she's so quick to trash Rachel Oates for reviewing her book and not singing her praise, why is she so quick to trash Trisha Paytas because she likes her music? Someone make it make sense. Is that a thing people say? I don't know. I'm in my mid-30s. We're doing fine. Everything's fine. Coffee. And furthermore, why does Gabbie Hanna have years worth of texts and information saved between her and multiple people? Like, that's not the behavior of a happy, healthy person. It's the behavior of someone who needs to make new friends every year. That's the behavior of someone like Jeffree Star. And I don't even know if Jeffree Star would stoop that low. Of course he would. Anyway, Trisha put out 2 response videos last night. I'm not going to show you either of them, but I will link them below if you haven't seen them. I'm sure you've seen them. You're not coming to my video to find Trisha Paytas videos, but I'll link them below just the same. One of the videos was the voice memos that Trisha had saved that Gabbie had sent her post podcast, where Gabbie admits that she was wrong. She says that she may have misremembered or that, you know, she had an exaggerated memory of the facts. Imagine if instead she just said, I'm sorry, that was my bad. Imagine if an admission of guilt or a half-assed apology just came with, I'm really sorry, I fucked up. And that's it. No excuses, no reasoning, no bullshit. Imagine. Now imagine harder and manifest it into reality. If things transpired the way that Trisha Paytas said that they did, and I have no reason to doubt Trisha Paytas at this point. Trisha's a lot of things, but I don't think that liar is one of them. Gabbie, on the other hand. Trisha then made another video in which they were clearly very, very upset. We've seen sort of like a very level-headed, calm, measured, I believe is the word I used earlier, Trisha over the course of 2021. Even if you don't forgive Trisha Paytas, I think you'd be lying to say that the Trisha that we've seen this year is very different from the Trisha we've seen in the past. Did I say that right? What I meant was that you'd be lying if you said that wasn't true. So hopefully I said that right. Jesus Christ. I gotta stop staying up so late Google image searching Martin Short. It was quite jarring to see this side of Trisha kind of come back, and honestly sort of heartbreaking. I know they said they were on their way to therapy at some point, and I think that that is fantastic, the best possible choice they could have made in that moment. Trisha spent the bulk of the video talking about the way that Gabbie has triggered them, then apologized to Gabbie in sort of a white flag, I want this to end, I'm gonna say what I need to say to make you stop doing this type of thing. And I hate that that happened. I hate that Trisha Paytas apologized. And I hated watching it happen. It gave me a knot in my stomach. And you know what it felt like watching? Someone apologizing to their abuser for being abused. That's exactly what it felt like. So for all of the narcissistic abuse accusations that Gabbie Hanna wants to put on other people, look at the way that people are reacting to Gabbie Hanna while she is essentially being abusive to them. Did I just say abusive? We're gonna leave that in. That's just fine. I'm sorry, Trisha Paytas has done a lot of fucked up shit over the years. Undeniable, right? Even she says that. She says that in this video. I have been a shitty person. I'm no Trisha Paytas apologist. I am not part of any of the communities that were affected by Trisha's videos and words. So it's not my place to say, oh, she's 100% changed, oh, everything is fine. I'm not part of those communities. It's not my apology to accept. But from an outside perspective, I've seen a lot of growth from Trisha. And I hope it continues. And at the end of the day, Trisha Paytas has done nothing to warrant apologizing to Gabbie Hanna. In the past couple years alone, Gabbie Hanna has made public a false accusation about Trisha Paytas' sexual health. And then she also wrote a song about her, for her, without her permission. Gabbie's a fucking bully who projects all of her insecurities and her faults and her flaws onto anyone who deigns to speak anything less than in glowing praise of her. Should someone disagree with her or criticize her or even simply express concern about her?
In her video right after the podcast, which by the way was mega disrespectful, that she made 2 videos calling me a liar after she came on my podcast.
Let's have a little chat about respect, shall we? Let's just do it, okay? Here we go. You're not owed respect because you're Gabbie Hanna. Respect is earned, and respect requires reciprocation. Saying that Trisha was nice to your face and then clarified points later in their own videos, not on your podcast, because that was edited out, you know, for Trisha's sake, as Gabbie says. Therefore is being disrespectful and warrants calling them a lying bitch. That is something a high schooler would say. But at least a high schooler would attempt to get someone's pronouns right.
And people started laying into her because she was being really condescending and gaslighting me on camera, and everybody saw it.
And I'm not sure who put out the Trish was being condescending comment into the ether first regarding that podcast. You know, into the parrot pool, if you will. But it caught on like wildfire. Use a fucking dictionary, especially when it comes to the term gaslighting. Let me drop a couple of knowledge bombs on you, okay? Disagreeing with someone is not gaslighting them, period. Even if what Gabbie said is true. And they were both exaggerating the story or misremembering the situations, right? That's still not gaslighting. Gaslighting requires someone being made to feel their perception of reality never happened. Sort of like what Trisha says has transpired with her conversations with Gabbie, where Gabbie pressed her so hard during this podcast to tell her that these things definitely fucking happened.
Was the stuff about poetry. You didn't send me any poetry. I sent you my poetry because we spoke about how you liked poetry and you thought that it was cool that I was like writing a poetry book.
She's now questioning her own realities and was questioning her own realities then. That's gaslighting. The irony, you know? Release the full podcast, Gabs. Let's see it. In some grossly actually condescending TikToks, Gabbie says that she's going to show everybody their relationship from 2016 to 2021, that she's not crazy. Are you sure? Because like having receipts from like every interaction you've ever had with like anyone ever, and then using that to make a docu-series about how wronged you've been or whatever the fuck is happening on this docu-series, and spinning that in your favor, yeah, that doesn't really have the marks of a sane person.
And then she got triggered and made 2 videos calling me a liar again. And here we are. She's once again inserting herself into my life again.
And sorry, but didn't you write a song about Trisha Paytas or for Trisha Paytas? One that dragged out their publicly toxic former relationship while Trisha was not exactly how you'd say sober all the time without their permission, contribution, or like a fucking care in the world. Trisha Paytas aside, I have received so many tweets and so many comments on my last video and the video before that, from people in these communities that Gabbie is essentially harming. And I have a small platform, like microscopic. I've had people with ADD, ADHD, adult ADHD, OCD, people who have only described themselves as neurodivergent to me to express their relation to this. Former Gabbie fans in my comments and in my mentions and in my DMs telling me that they feel invalidated, telling me that they feel hurt by all of these things that Gabbie's saying, and concerned that the damage that she's doing is damage that's not going to be able to be undone. They feel hurt. They feel hurt by this absolutely disgusting display of,
I'm being a piece of shit. Blame my ADHD.
I've had a number of them tell me I would never act this way. And if I did, I sure as hell wouldn't blame it on my ADHD. And that's what I think is really at the core of this. Gabbie Hanna, in her online presence, is nothing but a mean, spiteful, hateful, angry person. And now she's hiding behind a diagnosis to justify it. Because the fact of the matter is, ADHD can cause, I don't know, hyperactivity, impulsiveness, hyperfocus. It doesn't cause you to be an insufferable asshole. That's not one of the symptoms, sorry. I'm not here to say that Gabbie Hanna doesn't have ADHD. She very well may. None of my business.
I would like it to be none of my business.
She is literally walking around her house saying, I forgot where I put something, it's my ADHD. Stop it! My weird behavior is because I have ADHD. Stop it!
Stop it. Get some help.
Blaming bad behavior on a disorder that affects a lot of people is reprehensible. How is one so incredibly blind to the fact that they are doing real world harm to inflate stigma around the very disorder that they're claiming to want to help educate people on? Riddle me that, motherfucker. Saying my bad behavior is because of my ADHD is like saying I stole a cow because I have eczema. You don't get to educate anyone. I'm yelling. Stop yelling. Calm down. You are not a doctor. You are not an expert. You are not a good actor. And you are not your diagnosis. When you wear a name tag, it says your name. It's not your name plus all your mental illnesses. She is not doing the communities she claims to be a part of any favors. She's not doing her audience any favors. She's not even doing herself any favors. And hey, while we're on the topic of Gabbie Hanna doesn't really care who she hurts because she's finally standing up for herself, giving them a taste of their own medicine, not listening to the massive amounts of people telling her you're wrong, this is harmful. I think I've just had an epiphany.
Sometimes we fuck up and we can't change anything about what we said. However, it's your reaction that's very important, and that's what truly shows your character. However, if you do something and a very large group of people are upset, you might want to rethink that maybe, just maybe, you're wrong about this one.
That is from Gabbie Hanna's Dear Fat People response video from several years ago. When that video came out and everyone was responding to Nicole Arbour's shit behavior, I thought there were a lot of really salient points made. Who knew that in just a few short years it would just be riddled with hypocrisy? At the end of the day, this all seems like an act being so grossly exhausted by Gabbie Hanna because she has a docu-series dropping soon or never or whatever. Everyone's scared, according to Gabbie Hanna. But at this point, I think everyone's just a little bored and absolutely exhausted. It's like having to take care of that one friend that comes out with you for the night and you wish they would have just stayed home, but they were coming last minute, so you couldn't cancel because it was too late. And then they come to the bar with you and they're gonna start a bar fight with some dude because they think, when they get 4 beers in them that they could fight anybody. And then they vomit in their beer while they cry about the ex that dumped them 3 or 4 years ago now. And then halfway home she realizes she forgot to close her bar tab and the bartender still has her credit card, so you're gonna have to go back the next day to go get it because she's not responsible enough to just go out and have one drink, It's always gotta be a spectacle, doesn't it, Linda? What? But like I said, don't worry, because it seems like final boss Karen is having second thoughts about releasing this bombshell docu-series where everyone will be exposed for their narcissistic abuse towards specifically only Gabbie Hanna. I'm annoyed. Anyway, I'm gonna leave this video right here. I hope to not talk about Gabbie Hanna again, unless she drops that docuseries. Then I will have to. Are you as tired as I am? Let me know in the comments. What are you thinking? What's going on? What's your favorite flavor of Doritos? There's so many of you now. I just kind of want to know. How you're doing. How you doing? What are you doing? My name's not Barbara, by the way, just FYI. But you can call me Barbara because my self-esteem is low enough. I'll respond to anything. If you liked this video, please feel free to give it a like. If you did not like this video, you have never eaten buttered noodles on the veranda. I guess by that measure, I too do not like this video. Please subscribe. I make new videos whenever I feel like it. Turn on post notifications if you want to be notified / annoyed anytime I upload one of these absolute gems. My social media is linked down below. Feel free to come hang out with me. Just don't be an asshole. Thanks. I hope that you have a wonderful day. And I'll see you in the next one.